Am I ashamed? No. Should I be? Maybe. I didn't know I was in the middle of 90 book series. I definitely thought that it was like over 40, but 90? My life is not long enough to finish 90 different book series, and also my attention span is just not good for that. Hi, welcome. This is going to be very cathartic for me because I'm going to be sharing all of the book series that I'm in the middle of, and it's so fun. Okay, listen. I don't know if you're like me, but I love organizing things. I love making lists, to-do lists or just tasks throughout the day. Lists. They're my thing. I've gathered all of the book series that I'm currently in the middle of, and I've categorized them by my interest level. So it's either very high, like I'm 100% going to definitely be finishing these book series, and there's also very low, which is I may not even finish. I may just give up the story itself. I'm just not very attached to it. I could live my life without knowing how this book ends. So we have like different categories, and I just thought it would be fun to go through every single one. There's a lot of things to discuss in this video. I am so excited to get to that. But before we can get into the meat of this video, I did want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is glassesusa.com. I'm always so happy that I get to share my glasses with you guys because I love them so much. They work so well, and it's so easy to get them. By cutting out the middleman, glassesusa.com offers over 9,000 different pairs of glasses and sunglasses, including in-house brands as well as designer brands like Gucci, Prada, and so many more, at up to 70% off retail price. They also offer a risk-free shopping experience, free shipping and returns, 100% money-back guarantee within 14 days of your purchase. They also have this quiz that helps you find the right pair of glasses based on your face shape and needs. My favorite part definitely has to be the virtual try-on tool, where you upload a picture of yourself and you can preview different lenses on you to see how they would look, which helps me feel much more confident when I'm buying glasses online, because I don't have to worry about how they're going to look when they finally arrive. I already know that I'm going to look delicious. I'm going to look like a full course meal. I also love that they offer a collection of advanced blue light blocking lenses. As someone who's constantly on their phone reading books or working on emails, watching anime, it's number one priority to take care of my eyes, and these glasses help me with that. The glasses that I'm currently wearing are called the Muse Francesca, and I love how they look, and I also love wearing them wherever I go because they're so lightweight and somehow they match with everything that I wear. This next pair is called Tris, and I love how minimalistic they look, and also it's just like, it's nice. You know what I mean? It's very nice. And of course, you cannot complete your order without a pair of sunglasses. These are the Amelia E. Hepburn, and I love them. Make sure you check out the link in my description to get 65% off your first pair from glassesusa.com. Let's get started, shall we? We have 90 book series to get through. So I'm going to be starting with the ones that I am most interested in reading, and I'm going to end the video with the ones that I am probably going to DNF or have already DNF'd, but I wanted to include them on this list because, maybe one day I'll want to go back to them. The first series that we have here on my very high category is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Originally, this was going to be a trilogy, but then Miss Maas decided that she wanted to just keep writing in this world. So this book series had to come back into my series list. Unless I'm misremembering, I think there's going to be a total of 6 books in this series. So I also write down what book of the series I'm on and how many there are going to be in total. So for A Court of Thorns and Roses, I'm currently on book 4 out of 6 books. This next one, I actually started recently. I read the first 3 volumes. Yes, this is a manga. I read the first 3 volumes recently, and I am so excited to continue because I've been wanting to get through this manga series for the longest time, and it is Attack on Titan. This is the omnibus version, which has the first 3 volumes. Yeah, it was just fantastic. It's amazing. I can't wait to continue this series. I don't know how many omnibus versions there's going to be. I feel like there's going to be a total of 10, maybe. I could be wrong. They're still being released, so I don't really know. So for the moment, in total books, I put 10, and obviously I'm still in the first one. But this is just amazing. If you want a high stakes, fantasy, action-packed, bloody, heart-wrenching, murderous story about humanity trying to fight back against these otherworldly beings, Attack on Titan is for you. Also, the anime is fantastic. If you're not into the manga business, anime, amazing, 10 out of 10. Oh my god. Yes. Crescent City. Hi, hello. This is the first one. It's the House of Earth and Blood. When I first read this, as you can see by the tabs, I loved this. I mean, I still do, I think. I just don't remember anything that happened because I read it as soon as it came out. And the second book is out. It's this blue one. It's gorgeous, but I haven't been able to read it because I don't remember what happens in this first one. And I think there's going to be a total of 3 books in this series. I don't really know. Like with Sarah J. Maas, she's probably going to add like 6 more books. When she releases the third one, she'll just be like, surprise, there's 6 more books in this series. This next one is my all-time favorite anime, my all-time favorite manga, and it's come to a close. Like the final volume, volume 18, recently came out. I still don't have it, but I will. It's like literally in my cart. I am so excited to continue this series and finally finish it because I've been collecting this manga for 3 years, 4 years, I don't know, something insane. It's like the longest manga that I've collected, like for the longest time, and it is Full Metal Alchemist. I can't believe I'm going to be saying goodbye to Full Metal Alchemist so soon. Like, I know I just said it's been so long since I've been collecting these volumes, but at the same time, what am I gonna do when there's no more volumes to buy? I don't know what's the reason to keep on existing. You know what I mean? Like, why should I keep on living if there won't be any new Full Metal Alchemist volumes to collect? I don't know. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm currently on volume 16 and I still need to read 17 and finally 18. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. This next one is beloved by so many people worldwide. A Netflix adaptation recently came out and it did so well because it was so beautifully made. It is Heartstopper, my dudes. I think there's going to be a total of 5 volumes and I'm currently on volume 4. So it's going to be sad. Oh my god, my nails match. Shut up. I was made for this book. Anyways, I think I'm going to be really sad when volume 5 comes out because yes, I'm going to get the satisfaction of finishing a series, but at the same time, there's no longer going to be any new more Heartstopper content, and that just depresses the heck out of me. Like, I don't even want to think about it. It's this double-edged sword. It's this catch-22 because on one side, you're so proud of yourself and you feel successful for having finished a book series, but the other part of you is depressed because this book series that you've been loving for so many years and for so long has suddenly come to an end, and you're like, okay, so what now? Like, what am I supposed to do with myself? Nobody's going to be surprised to see this one. This is another manga series. Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Throne of Pages. Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know how many total volumes this is going to have. If I'm being optimistic, I'd say 50. I honestly never want this series to end. I think I'm currently on volume 15 and volume 18 just came out or is about to come out really soon. I think it's going to have maybe, like, really realistically, I think it's going to have around 20 to 23 volumes, just like Demon Slayer. And I'm currently on volume 15 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Hi, the love of my life, Spy X Family or Spy Family. I have read the first 3 volumes and then I decided to wait until it was completed or until more volumes came out. Volume 8 of Spy Family is about to come out and I do have volumes 1 through 7. So maybe I'll wait until volume 8 comes out and then I'll just binge from 4 to 8 because I just love binging mangas. You know what I mean? Like reading one volume and then having to wait for another one, torture. So I'd rather like stack them up and just make a whole weekend out of it. But yes, currently on volume 3, probably, hopefully more, but I think it's going to be a total of 10. If you guys know how many there's actually going to be, please let me know down below. Give me some hope. This author is another fan favorite worldwide. She literally is so unproblematic. I feel like everybody loves her books. Like, it's really hard to find one hater of Cassandra Clare. Hi. This series is The Last Hours. This is her recent book series. She's currently about to release the third and final installment in The Last Hours. And I'm still in book 1. We're so close to the final book coming out, so I might as well just wait until it's complete so that I don't have to wait, because I'm pretty sure Chain of Iron ends on a cliffhanger. So yeah, we have to be strategic about this. Like, we have to choose the path that will give us less pain. And that's what I do. I'm like great at picking actually no, I usually go for the most painful. Okay, I need to work on that, but the point is, the goal is to suffer the least that you possibly can. I think one of the most painful things, if you're an avid book series reader, is not having a release date for the sequel. And that is the Yang Chen Chronicles, or the Yang Chen novels. Yes, that's the name of the series. The Yang Chen novels, this is the first book in this duology, I believe, because FCE has also written the Kyoshi novels and it's a duology, so I'm guessing that Yang Chen also is going to have a duology. This was a 5-star. I'm so sorry, but this was a 5-star. Sorry. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This is the first book in the Villains duology, which has now become a trilogy. I don't understand when authors do that. Like, why do you randomly, years later, add another book to a series that was supposed to be a duology? Why do you want to make it a trilogy? Why do you want to make it a quartet? Like, why don't you just let me live in this duology world? Because now that she's coming out with a third book, I feel like she's going to kill off my favorite character. Let's not do that. We were doing so well. Why do you want to keep adding more pain? The last series in my very high priority list is Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith. I read this as a webtoon, but then it started coming out in these printed hardcover editions, so of course I'm going to be collecting them like Pokemons. I know volume 2 is out. I still haven't gotten around to buying it, but I will. I don't know how many volumes this is going to have, but I'm on volume 1. Yay me, yay. Let the record show I'm on volume 1. Moving on to the high priority list. These I would be happy if I could finish them, but I'm not 100% attached to the story. I'm maybe like 80% attached to the story if we have to set a certain percentage. So the first book in this category is Orange by Ichigo Takano. The only reason I haven't continued on with this series, literally I'm only missing one more volume, is because the second volume is sold out everywhere. And if I find it somewhere, it's stupidly overpriced. It's disgusting, honestly. And I really enjoy the series, but I don't love it enough to spend $50 on one volume. That's ridiculous. I could do so much with $50. Buying volume 2 of Orange is not one of them. I actually don't know why this is in the high priority. Maybe, I think it also has to do with time. Like, the more that time passes, the more that I just find myself not really interested in continuing. And I feel like that happens a lot. Like, the book series that you're going to see at the very end, I feel like just years have gone past and I never got around to continuing. And that's the reason that I'm just never going to finish them, because my interest is a very, what's that word when it's not forever, it's very finite. It's very ephemeral. It can go either way, honestly. So the next series in my high priority list is 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. Now, let me tell you, when I first read this, I loved it so much. I gave it 4.5 stars. I think I even gave it 5 stars. Since I read this before we even had a release date for the sequel, I kind of just forgot about this series. Like, it's not even registered in my brain. The next series is the Tea Dragon Society, the Tea Dragon series. It's this really cute, really fluffy, really cuddly type of graphic novel, but I never got volume 2 or like book 2. I don't know why. I really enjoy it. Maybe I'll continue it on like online, but I don't see myself actually buying like a physical edition. She Who Became the Sun. I read this for my Patreon. I don't remember when, but I remember having my mind blown because it was so good. And I'm usually not a big fan of like high fantasy stories, but this one just blew me out of the park. Is that the saying? So this series, She Who Became the Sun, it's called The Radiant Emperor by Shelley Parker Chan. The total books I have is going to be 2. So maybe it'll be a trilogy, but maybe it'll be a duology. Who knows? The point is, I'm in book 1, and this is a stunning series, but also I feel like since we don't have a release date for the sequel, maybe by the time that it's published, I won't remember how this book made me feel. I won't remember anything about the story elements, so it'll be really hard for me to read the sequel knowing nothing. Once again, only time will tell. Tokyo Ever After, this is going to have 2 books, and obviously this is the first one. I loved it when I read it. It just gave me everything that I was looking for at that moment. It's so cute. It's another coming of age story mixed in with romance and royalty and just getting to know yourself and getting to know other people. I'm so excited to get to the sequel, which recently came out. It's this really wonderful green cover. Next on, we're moving to the medium interest level category. And in this category, we have 6 books. The first one being Alex Stern. It may sound familiar to a lot of you, but if you don't recognize the name, that is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. It's called the Alex Stern series. So this book series is a total of 2 books, so it's a duology, and the second book, I think it's come out or it's coming out. It's this really ugly cover with like a dead rabbit. I don't really know what that's all about, but it's called Hellbent, and it's white. It looks good next to Ninth House, but I don't know if I want to own a book with a dead rabbit on the cover. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't really think I'm interested in continuing Ninth House. Like, I did enjoy it. I think I gave it 3 stars. So there were definitely some elements that I enjoyed, balanced with a few elements that I did not care for. And I do like the whole dark academia vibe that this book has, and I love like the secret society and, you know, murder. It's all fun, it's all great, but I have read books that are similar to this, just done better. So why continue on with a mediocre series when I can just reread better books? Oh, How to Ride. Listen, the only reason this is in medium interest level is because it is so hard. It's so hard to collect these volumes because they're sold out everywhere. Right Stuff doesn't have them, Amazon doesn't have them, Book Depository doesn't have them. Thrift Books is kind of sus. I've never really trusted thrift books. I once bought a book there and it just smelled like pee. I could continue through like digital, but I have a really hard time reading manga digitally, so I don't know. I don't know. That's why my interest has just gone down. Even though I do love the anime, it's 5 out of 5 stars. Maybe I should just rewatch it instead of trying to collect How to Ride, because it's just such an elusive manga to collect. Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. This has a total of 3 books, I believe. I'm only on 1. I just don't know if I want to keep on buying these books. I don't know if I loved the series or the story so much to keep on collecting them. Maybe I'll read it through audiobook or ebook, one of the 2. I don't know. Like, I have a lot more interesting stories that I'm personally more interested in that I want to focus on before I continue on with Kingdom of the Wicked. Even though I do love Stalking Jack the Ripper series by the same author, this one just didn't hit the same, so I don't know. When I read this book, I really loved it, but the more that time passed, I just found myself not really wanting to collect it, especially when I found out that this is going to have a total of 9 books, and I love middle grade, but I don't think I love it enough to collect a 9-book series. I did really enjoy this book, but I don't know if I'm going to keep on buying the books or like keep on reading it in general. And it is Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. I really enjoyed it. This was actually recommended by my subscribers and I bought it because of your recommendation. I did love it. I read it in a day, which, oh my God, that's like a new record for me. This has, what, 461 pages, and I read it in a day. So I was definitely very in the story, but yeah, it's just 9 books is a lot. Like, I know I collect manga, but for some reason it's just different. Okay, it's different. Shatter Me by Shatter Me, Enlighten Me. Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi. This was a trilogy, you know what I mean? Like, Tahara Mafi decided to make this more than a trilogy, and she also decided to ruin the story for everybody. So I don't know if I want to continue reading the rest of the books that she's released. I have read the 6 books, but she's still writing more, and I don't think I'm going to continue reading them. Like, she's bringing out novellas now. There's like 6.5, and I'm on 6. I don't know if I want to continue this torture because she's just ruining the characters that I came to love and know from books 1 to 3. From books 4 to 6, she's just ruining everything. So I don't know. Now we're moving on to the low interest level category, and the first one in this list is Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I recently read the 3rd book, which is The Crown of Gilded Bones, and it just made me realize that I don't care about this series. Yes, it has its moments. Yes, the characters, especially Kieran, are really wonderful, but I could find a million Kierans in another million books. Like, he's not very unique is what I'm trying to say. I can find him in another book that has a better story surrounding him. The point is, Kieran deserves better, and I feel like this has 6 total books, and the first 3 books are basically all the same. I did talk about this on my wrap-up, where Jennifer L. Armentrout just follows this formula for each single book. She never changes it. It's basically near-death experience, sex scene, near-death experience, sex. It's very repetitive for my taste. So I'd rather just try and find my Kieran character in other better books than continue this 6-book series. Check please. This has 4 volumes, I believe, the last time that I checked, and I'm in the first one. It's just like, you read it once and you're happy. You don't want to, like me personally, I just didn't want to continue with the story. I was happy with what happened in this one, and I'm happy leaving it like that. Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nyan. I read the first 2 books. I think there's a total of 3. I didn't really like the sequel, and because of that, I'm not excited to continue with the 3rd one. Honestly, I might DNF it. Like, I really loved Girls of Paper and Fire when I first read it, but then the sequel happened. She's There. I didn't like it, so then my interest for continuing dwindled to, you know, as the category states, low. We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. The series itself is called Sands of Arawiya, and there's 2 books. It's literally a duology. I just never continued. I did really love it, and the fan art is stunning. I just never really continued. I don't know why. And it's been so long that I just don't think I care anymore. Then we have a pretty popular series. It's a TikTok book, of course, so it's recently been gaining a lot of traction. I just don't know if I'm interested. Like, I'm not. I don't know why I keep saying I don't know, because I do be knowing. I think I'm just afraid of being assertive, because if I change my mind, then people are going to be like, but you said. Anyways, I think I'm just afraid of my own imagination. The Atlas by Olivia Blake. This is the first book, and I think it's going to be a total of 2 books, so again, a duology. I'm not going to lie and say that I didn't enjoy it, because I did. I really did enjoy it. I think it was fun. I think the characters were really great, very diverse, and very unique to each its own. Will I read the sequel? There's a very low chance of that. That's why it's in the low category. And then the last book series, it's actually a manga series, and it's on low because I don't 100% want to give up on it, but I'm also not very inclined to finishing it. And it is Tokyo Ghoul by Sui Ishida. I think this has a total of 12 volumes. I'm on volume 7. I think that by volume 4, I had already lost any interest, and I just kept on reading it because for some reason I bought them in bulk, and it just felt like a shame, like a waste to not read the books that I already owned. But the more that I read, the more that I was like, I don't care about these characters. So I think I'm not going to be spending any more money on these. And as I mentioned, it's just really hard for me to enjoy manga online. Okay, so now I'm going to fast track through these because these are series that I have definitely given up on. You will not see me reading these books. You will see me not recommending these books. You will see me giving up on these books. You will see me DNFing at any point. A Forgery of Magic by Maya Modaine. This is a Dominican-inspired fantasy book, very reminiscent of A Darker Shade of Magic. Yes, this has a total of 3 books. I only read the first one, and that was enough for me to know that it was not for me. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. There's 3 books. I only read the first one. Again, not for me. Very juvenile. I'm just way past that. Aristotle and Dante, there's a total of 2 books. Bad Girls Don't Die series by Katie Allender. Apparently there's 3 books in this series. I read the first one, will not continue. I don't even know what that series is. Before the Coffee Gets Cold, there's 2 books and I read the first one. I did cry. It was very gut-wrenching, heart-punching, brain-frying. Like, I did enjoy myself, but I just don't see myself reading another book like that. Blackbird by Sam Humphries. This is a comic book or a graphic novel that I recently DNF'd and I unhauled and I gave it away. Bye-bye, never again to be seen. Goodbye, good riddance. Blood on the Tracks. This is a manga series and I read the first 6 volumes and this has a total of 13 volumes. And 6 was more than enough. I think I should have stopped at volume 3. Maybe I should have stopped at volume nothing. I just wish I hadn't read this because it's just not for me. Like, I thought it was going to be something. It wasn't. Circle of Shadows by Evelyn Sky. It's a duology. I only read the first one when it came in a Fairy Loot box, and that was more than enough. Creekwood series by Becky Albertalli. This is the Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. It's not like a sequel, it's kind of just like companion novels. And I read the first one out of 3. I'm not really interested in what the author has to offer, so I just stopped at Simon. Even though I loved Simon, I haven't seen the TV show, but maybe I should. But anyways, Curse Breakers by Bridget Kemmerer. There's 3 and I only read 1. Oh, I think this is the Beauty and the Beast retelling. Number 1 was good. I also unhauled it recently. If you haven't seen my unhaul, go check it out. Thank you. Dash and Lily by Rachel Kahn. There's 3 books. I only read 1. Dimple and Rishi. There's 3 books. I only read 1. Dumpling, an extremely problematic, it was just a really horrible book. And the movie is also really bad. There is 3 books. I only read 1. That was 1 too many. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by You Know Who. There's 3 books and I will only be reading 1. I regret reading 1. Fence. This is a graphic novel by C.S. Paycat. Paycat? There's 12 volumes. I only read 3 and I ended up gifting them to my friend because even though it is a cute story, I don't know, there's just better stuff out there for me. The Hamilton High series by Cody Keplinger. I think this is the Duff series, like the Duff, the book, the movie, the stuff, exactly. There's 4 books and I only read 1. Howl's Moving Castle. There's 3 books and I'm only going to read 1 because the movie in this case is definitely better than the book. I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver is a duology apparently and I only read 1. And I did enjoy it, but I'm not going to be continuing because I don't have time. Icons by Margaret Stoll. It's a duology. I only read 1. Isle of Storms and Sorrow by Bex Hogan. There's 3. I only read 1. King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. It's a duology. I'm only going to read 1 because the first one was so bad and so boring. I don't think I can stomach that a second time. Legacy of Orisha by Tomi Adeyemi. This is the Children of Blood and Bone series, if you didn't know that it was called that. And I really did love Children of Blood and Bone when I read it, but too much time has passed, I'm sorry. Like, nothing against the story, it's just I think I just moved past it. I really loved it when I first read it, but yeah. Legend, the graphic novel. I did read the original Legend novels by Marie Lu and I loved them, so I thought that I would love the graphic novels. I was wrong. Love Boat Taipei. It's a duology. and I really did not like the first book, so I'm not going to be continuing. The Magisterium series by Holly Black and Cassie Clare. There's 5 books, and if I wanted a Harry Potter ripoff, I would just reread Harry Potter. Like, no thank you. I read the first book and that was more than enough. Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children series by Ransom Riggs. This man, when will he stop writing? I don't understand. Like, you think the story is over, and then he just keeps releasing so many other books, and you're like, where is this coming from? And just, when will it end? So there's 6 books. The last time I checked, there's probably like 8 now, or 10. I stayed at 3, and that's good for me. Like, I'm good. Paper Girls was also a graphic novel that I recently unhauled. There's going to be 6. I only read the first 2, and 2 Pushing the Limits series by Katie McGarry, 5 books. I only read 1 and I gave up on it because what was that? I don't, like, even look at the cover, my dude. Look at the cover. Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I bought the box set. I read the first 3 books and I hated it so much. Instead of forcing myself to read the whole series just because I bought the box set, I decided to just cut my losses, just stop reading. I literally stopped in the last book. I read like the first 20 pages and I was just like, I can't do this. This is not good for my mental health. So I just stopped. Renegades by Marissa Meyer. It's a trilogy and I only read the first 2. I really didn't even like it that much in the first place, so yeah. Saga, it's another graphic novel that I unhauled recently. I only read the first volume out of 14. Good riddance, sir. Seven Devils, it's a duology and I only read 1. Again, it is sci-fi, so I was definitely not going to continue. Simon Snow by Rainbow Rowell. 3 books, I only read 2 and then decided to call it quits because it just got really bad. Skyward by Brandon Sanderson is another one that I recently unhauled, and it's going to be a total of 4 books. I read up until the 2nd book and just that's when I stopped loving sci-fi and decided to completely give up on it, so yeah. Snot Girl, 15 volumes. I read the first 5. God, that's disgusting. The Archived by Victoria Schwab. There's 3 and I only read 1 and I wanted to vomit. It was so bad. The Aurora Cycle, there's 3. I only read 1 and I wish I hadn't. I wish I could have burned my eyes off before I did because that was horrible. Broken Earth by N.K. Jemisin. There's 3 books. I recently unhauled the whole trilogy because I read the first book and it was so bad and so boring. It just gave me this huge reading slump after reading the first book. I am never going to forgive N.K. Jemisin for making me do that to myself. The Eldest Curses by Cassandra Clare. There's 3 books. I only read the 1. The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. There's 3 books. I only read the 1. The Hate You Give, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, The Last Magician, The Love Hypothesis, The Shaw Confessions, The Start of Me and You, The Storm Runner series, True Colors, Truly Devious, Warm Bodies, Wonder series, and finally, God, I feel like that was so long, Zodiac Star Force, which I also recently unhauled. All of these are series that I read the first book and I just decided to give up because I just knew it wasn't for me. I knew that there are better book series out there that I was going to love and adore. So why spend time on book series that I just knew were going to be mediocre when I could spend more time looking for books that I knew were going to make me feel better? God, I'm exhausted. That was so much. Let's never do this again. But I hope you enjoyed. Like, yeah, this was exhausting, but it's also, I feel very satisfied with this process. Like, I feel like I've organized so much of my life. The process of doing this list and organizing them, it made me really think, and it made me prioritize books that I've been reading for years, like book series that I've been reading for years. And it made me just organize everything. It made me declutter my mind, declutter my shelves. It was just a wonderful experience. Thank you so much for watching. Washing? No, I'm sorry. I mean, if you haven't done your laundry, now's a good time to do it. Maybe you can fold your laundry as you watch this video. Maybe it's too late for that. Anyways, guys, I'm delusional. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like more from me, like exclusive content, exclusive vlogs, you guys should check out my Patreon, which is down below. And my Instagram is also there if you guys would enjoy me more. I don't know. I'm really bad at like self-promoting, but anyways, I love you all so very much. I hope you enjoyed and I will see you next time. Bye.
Hey Jimmy, you nice. Keep going.